Half a degree. I mean, it sounds like nothing, right? It's like a rounding error, the kind of temperature change you wouldn't even notice walking out the door. But when we're talking about climate science, half a degree Celsius is, well, it's everything. It's the knife's edge between a future we can handle and one that's, frankly, catastrophic. And today, we're going to find out why. You hear these numbers thrown around all the time, don't you? 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees. You hear it from world leaders, from scientists, from activists. But it all feels a little abstract. So today, we're going to make it concrete. We're going to see exactly what that tiny half a degree difference actually looks and feels like on the ground. So, where do these numbers even come from? Well, they're straight out of the Paris Agreement. 2 degrees Celsius. That was set as the absolute do not cross upper limit, the guardrail. But 1.5 degrees? That was the real aspiration, the target we should all be aiming for. And really, the entire global climate strategy lives in the space between those two numbers. Now, to really understand what this all means, we can't just talk about global averages. That doesn't tell the whole story. We need to zoom in. And honestly, there are few places on Earth where the stakes are higher than in India. Our whole explainer today is built on a really important piece of research. It's a 2023 study where a team of scientists basically took those two scenarios, the 1.5 and the 2-degree worlds, and modeled what they would actually mean for extreme temperatures all across India. And look, they didn't just paint with a broad brush here. The researchers got really specific. They broke India down into its 7 unique climate zones. And this is so important because the impact of that half a degree, it's not the same everywhere. It hits different regions in totally different ways. So, why focus on India? Well, the reasons are pretty stark. You're talking about a massive population, over 1 billion people. It's also officially one of the countries most at risk from climate change. And here's the real kicker. This research shows that almost the entire country is already warming up faster than the rest of the world. It's like a canary in the coal mine. All right, let's dive into the data. What did the scientists actually find when they put these two futures side by side? This is where that abstract half a degree starts to feel very, very real. First, a quick cheat sheet so we're all speaking the same language. Don't worry, it's simple. When scientists talk about heat extremes, they use these codes. We're just going to focus on 2. TXX, which is just the single hottest day of the entire year, and TNX, the warmest night. These two tell us a whole lot about how extreme heat is changing. Okay, take a look at this. On the left, you've got the 1.5 degree world. You see some orange, right? Now, I want you to look over to the right. That's the 2 degree world. See how much deeper and darker those reds get? Especially up in the north and central parts of the country. That, right there, is our half a degree in action. So, here's the crucial thing. That extra half a degree isn't spread out nice and evenly. Oh no, it gets concentrated, creating these intense hotspots. The research shows that the Western Himalayan region, for instance, would get hit with the biggest jump in extreme daytime heat, which is a huge threat to those fragile ecosystems and, of course, their water supplies. But it's not just about the blazing hot days. Take a look at what happens when the sun goes down. Again, compare the 1.5 degree scenarios on the left with the 2 degree ones on the right. The jump in the warmest nighttime temperatures is just as dramatic, maybe even more so. And this right here is a really big deal, and something that people often forget about. When the nights don't cool down, our bodies and entire ecosystems don't get a chance to recover from the heat of the day. This leads to a massive spike in heat stress and mortality, especially for the elderly and the sick. It's a silent killer. And that brings us from these temperature maps to people. Because in the end, that's what this is all about. These degrees, these colors on a chart, they're about human lives. So, how do you measure that? Well, the researchers used a really key metric called population exposure. The idea is simple but powerful. It doesn't just measure how hot it gets, it measures how many actual people are standing in the path of that dangerous heat. Okay, get ready, because this might be the single most important number in this entire explainer. At 1.5 degrees of warming, about 30% of India's population will be exposed to what used to be a rare once-in-20-year heat wave. But at 2 degrees, that number skyrockets to 46%. Let's just pause on that for a second. We're not talking about a small increase here. That 16-point jump in a country as big as India translates to hundreds of millions of extra people. Farmers, construction workers, the elderly, children, all facing life-threatening heat. I know, this all sounds pretty grim. But the study also offers a powerful message of hope. By flipping the question around, it shows us not just the danger we're in, but also all the benefits we can lock in. The researchers have this brilliant term for it: avoided impact. It's such a great way to frame it, isn't it? It's not about accepting a loss. It's about actually quantifying what we gain by fighting for that tougher 1.5-degree target. It's all the stuff we get to save.
And wow, the numbers are just staggering. By holding the line at 1.5 degrees, India could slash the number of people exposed to this dangerous heat by 44%. Just think about that. Nearly half the risk just gone, thanks to that half a degree.
And it's not just people, it's the land itself. The forests, the farms, the cities. Holding warming to 1.5 degrees would cut the land area getting slammed by these heat extremes by half. A full 50% benefit, all by holding that half-degree line. So, where does all of this leave us? It leaves us with a choice that is both unbelievably difficult and absolutely necessary. And look, the scientists who did this work, they don't sugarcoat it. They call hitting that 1.5-degree target a mammoth task. And they're absolutely right. It's going to take a global effort like we have never seen before. But as this data clearly shows, the alternative is just unthinkable. For India, that half a degree is not a rounding error. It's not a number on a spreadsheet. It's the line between two completely different futures for more than 1 billion people. It's a lifeline. And that really brings us to the final question we're left with, doesn't it? We've spent this time focused on one country, but this is just one story out of hundreds. So if this is what half a degree means for one nation, what does it mean for all of us, for our entire planet? That's the question we all have to answer now.